Welcome to The Right Stuff from Goldspot Pens, a podcast that guides you from pen noob to aficionado in less than 20 minutes. I'm your host, Tom Otto. In this episode, I take you behind the curtain at Goldspot Pens and show you how the sausage is made when it comes to our exclusive pen collaboration projects. Hang out until the end and I'll give away something on my desk. I've been meaning to talk about our exclusive pens for a while, as it is one of our most popular topics our pen pals on YouTube ask in the comments section. So today's question comes from GV0861, who writes, what does the process of getting an exclusive model entail? Do you reach out to the manufacturing company or vice versa? What about the creative process? Before I give you a sneak peek behind the curtain of how we produce our exclusives, there will be some things that I just can't fully describe about the process because I know our competitors are watching and we don't want to give away our secret Krabby Patty formula, if you get my meaning. So to illustrate the exclusive pen process, I've brought along a few of our most recent collaborations in the Retro 51 Boo-Roque, the Opus 88 Pendemic Minty, the Benu Euphoria Hot Toddy, the Sailor 1911 Call of Cthulhu, and the Nahvalur Horizon Polar Night. Before we talk about the pens, I just want to give some backstory on how we got involved with exclusive pen designs in the first place. Way back in 2010, Goldspot, particularly Sal, had this great idea for a Monteverde and Vincia fountain pen inspired by Formula One racing. So we worked with Yafa Brands to create a collection of limited edition pens that had carbon fiber bodies, colorful lacquered caps, and black trims. And I got the chance to design the packaging sleeves, so our first ever exclusive was born. Since then, we've developed dozens of pens with brands like Retro 51, Edison, Montegrappa, Visconti, Scribo, Leonardo, Sailor, Kaweco, and more. We've worked with artists like Peter Draws and Tracy Marcioli and have utilized Goldspot's in-house talent for Chris's Retro 51 Pizza and Carissa's packaging for the Cotton Candy Carnival Retro 51. In the 10 plus years of collaborating, our creative process continues to refine itself while keeping one overarching goal in mind: to delight our pen pals with new and inspiring writing instruments that will help them create, express, and feel connected to something greater. One of the brands we've worked with the most is Retro 51. The Hot Coffee Rollerball pen was our first exclusive design with them back in 2015. Thanks to Richard and the graphic design team at Retro 51, they were able to transform the tapered barrel of the Tornado into a canvas for artistic expression. And when first working with Retro 51, the process would be Goldspot comes up with an idea for an exclusive design. We draw or sketch it on paper or mock it up in Photoshop. Then send it to Richard, who would then make it look all pretty. Once we approve the digital mock-up, a physical proof would then be made, sometimes in multiple trim styles or color options if we ask them. We then evaluate the physical proofs and determine if any changes are necessary or if we could move on with the full production. In addition to bugging Richard, who is already busy designing pens for Retro and other retailers who want exclusive designs, we partnered with Retro 51 collector and exceptional graphic artist designer Tracy Marcioli to illustrate designs for us. I've mentioned Tracy's name countless times on this channel, particularly when her designs hit the top 5 bestseller pen lists. Tracy designed our Halloween 2024 edition Boo-Roque pen. We asked her in early 2024 if she could follow up her popular Fright Night design with yet another killer idea. Boo-Roque was an immediate yes. When she mocks up her designs, she usually shows several different color schemes. Since we loved several of them, we decided to make 3 and offer them as a blind surprise edition. And Tracy also made an excellent catch when we received the prototype, which is the one I'm holding in my hand here. In this prototype, her artwork wasn't aligned based on the digital specs we sent Retro 51. So they were able to fix it before production, keeping the jack-o'-lantern front and center below the clip. Also, we originally conceived that purple would be the version that glows in the dark. However, the glow in the dark was coming through pretty weakly on this darker purple, so we opted to make the green glow instead. And thankfully, Retro 51 is great to work with in correcting mistakes and making the necessary changes, all in the name of producing a pen that fits their motto, that life is too short to carry an ugly pen. Sticking with the horror theme, let's talk about the 2024 Goldspot exclusive Sailor 1911 Call of Cthulhu. We've worked with Sailor Japan several times before creating the Sea Glass, Royal Amethyst, British Racing Green, and Blue Cobra limited editions. As many Sailor collectors know, there is a seemingly endless combination of colorful sailors on the market. So if a particular design doesn't excite our pen pals, we end up holding a large volume of pens for a long time. And that is unfortunately what happened with our Pro Gear Blue Cobra introduced in 2021. 3 years later, we had to cut the price 40% off the retail, threw in a car pen holder and ink samples just to help move the final pieces. And here's a quick note on the quantities of our limited editions. As a retailer, Goldspot assumes the risk of purchasing way too many pens that no one wants to buy. When collaborating in an exclusive design, the retailer commits to a certain minimum amount of pens to make. Goldspot has to forecast the demand for these pens and hope that eventually all of them will sell, which is called turnover. From a business perspective, having a quick turnover and a healthy cash flow is extremely important. If your cash is tied up in pens that aren't selling, you don't have enough money to buy new editions and finance new exclusives. Despite the failure of Blue Cobra to live up to our expectations, we still opted to craft a new Sailor exclusive design straight from the pages of H.P. Lovecraft's horror fantasy. Sailor already featured dark and mysterious 1911 models with the Loch Ness and Wicked Witch of the West, so it seemed a natural fit to make a Cthulhu pen. And plus, we've seen just how successful Waring Yule's literature-themed inks performed in the last year and thought, well, what better combination? We obsessed over Pantone color swatches to find just the right shade of dark teal for this pen, accenting the finials and grip section with a sparkling, translucent green to emulate air bubbles from the depths. Once we had the perfect Pantone color for this pen, we sent the same color number for Waring Yule to brew the matching ink. Thankfully, the story of Cthulhu turned out much different than Blue Cobra. As of this video, we have less than 40% left of the Cthulhu pens, and the ink continues to flow. Maybe next year, we'll tell a different story with a new Sailor pen. One of the most imaginative and extravagant makers we collaborate with is Benu. Known for their over-the-top, glittery pen designs, Benu's artistic team is a pleasure to work with for our exclusive designs. They're willing to push the limits of pen design to make something uniquely dazzling. Lately, we've been on a spirited streak of theming pens after cocktails. After the success of Pink Champagne, we wanted to give our pen pals some warmth and spice to their writing experience with Hot Toddy. While other pen brands usually source their resins from specialty makers like Mackenzie Penworks or Carolina Pen Company, Benu crafts their own resins and have complete control over how each pen will look and feel. Their team is capable of taking a design brief, which is like kind of giving ChatGPT a text prompt, and Benu then creates a pen that perfectly captures the essence of the theme. They sometimes make a couple of versions for us to choose from, sending photos and videos of how the pen will shine and sparkle. Then our team evaluates the options, sometimes putting them to a vote if it's a close race. And then on the other hand, you have a pen like the hand-painted Phoenix Rising, which Benu nailed perfectly on the first attempt. For the Hot Toddy, we wanted a zesty, bright pen to keep us warm in the fall. While this pen isn't one of Benu's most sparkly, it does have a fun semi-transparent appearance coupled with a refreshing citrusy color. In addition to its spirited design, a recipe sheet to make your own Benu Hot Toddy is included with the pen's packaging. The pens we've discussed thus far were developed in-house at Goldspot. For this Opus 88 Minty fountain pen, however, we collaborated with the Pendemic Discord community for our first crowdsourced limited edition exclusive pen. I was the liaison with one of the Pendemic mods, known as Dr. Brownie, to discuss the various options available in creating an exclusive design. Then the 3,000 plus members of Pendemic voted on every aspect of the pen, from the brand, model, material, color, and the nib sizes. The then result is the Opus 88 Minty made in Mackenzie diamond cast acrylic. To commemorate this collaboration, Opus 88 engraved the Penda mascot logo on the number 6 size Yovo stainless steel nib. Plus, the pen's edition number of 165 pens total is engraved on the bottom blind cap of the barrel. Because the folks of the Pendemic Discord were the reason why the pen even existed in the first place. They got first dibs to order this limited edition pen before it was advertised to the public. Although the edition is completely sold out, there is one pen left, number 69, that will be auctioned for charity on the Discord server in early 2025. I'll put an invite link to the Pendemic community in case you're interested in joining. Just as a quick aside in the design process, sometimes we'll get from the manufacturers an early proof just to show how the pen is put together, and this is the early version of the Pendemic Minty, done in a matte finish, so it wasn't fully glossed up and polished, but we thought it looked so cool just on its own, and just being able to take this apart and everything easily unscrews out because it's not a finished piece and doesn't have a clip, but it just looks so cool just to see it kind of in its early prototype stage. And then we kind of go from there and say we approve doing this, and then we'll polish it up, put the silver clip on there, the stainless steel nib, and of course like the filling mechanism and everything else, the engraving and whatnot. But this is a neat little thing to have as like a souvenir of one of the steps that we had taken to produce this particular edition. And from the crowdsourced larger fountain pen, Opus 88 is also capable of making the fun and pocket-friendly mini fountain pen with a wraparound printed design. Many of our pen pals are quite familiar with some of these editions like the Baby Beluga, Celestial Zodiac, Sakura, and now Fall Leaves. Again, big thanks go to Tracy Marcioli for helping create these designs for us. Although she isn't into fountain pens as much as her favorite rollerballs, she still enjoys the Opus 88 Mini as a canvas for her artwork. The last pen I'll share with you in this exclusive pen discussion is the Narwhal Horizon in Polar Night. If you subscribe to us, if not, you should, or follow at Goldspot Pens on the socials, you would have seen a preview of this pen, which is scheduled for launch on Tuesday, November 26th. On those sneak peek posts, we held a naming contest across all of our social accounts, selecting our top 3 favorites from among hundreds of comments. Then you voted on the 3 finalists, selecting Polar Night as the winning name. A big shout out to Teresa H on Instagram for being the one who proposed the Polar Night name. She will receive one of these pens for free since her name was selected. The story about how this pen came to be is far less involved than most of our other exclusive designs. As it happens sometimes with our vendors, Narwhal proposed this pen as a Goldspot exclusive after they made a small run of it. With a little over 100 pens made total, if Narwhal offered it to all of their retailers, each store might only get maybe a few pieces. So it was easier for them to sell it to just one retailer. Goldspot doesn't often get opportunities like these, but when the pen is made with Brooks resin and looks this good, it's hard to pass up. As you can see from the variety of designs I shared in this video, there isn't one specific process to creating a Goldspot exclusive. Depending on the capabilities of the manufacturer, the materials, the artists we work with, and the themes we explore, the journey from idea to production is uniquely different each time. Ultimately, as I mentioned earlier, we create these exclusives to wow our pen pals with a new pen they'll love to use forever and ever. Congrats go to GV0861 for being picked as the question of the week. You won the Opus 88 Mini Celestial Zodiac prototype fountain pen I mentioned in the previous episode. Email me at tom@goldspot.com to claim your prize. For this episode's giveaway, I'm offering the Opus 88 Fall Leaves fountain pen prototype that we showed in this video. To enter, you must be subscribed to the Goldspot Pens channel, like this video, and leave a comment with a question you'd like for me to answer in a future video. If I answer your question, then you win. If you'd like to see me write with the pens mentioned in this week's episode, you can check out Goldspot Pens YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and TikToks for writing samples. Thank you for checking out this week's episode of the Write Stuff podcast by Goldspot Pens. Now go out there, put your pen to paper, and write stuff. Till next time, stay inky, my friends. Take care.